Right, so in this video I'm going to talk a bit about saving seed from lettuce, and what I've got here is two of my sort of strongest lettuce plants. So first rule in this seed saving business is whatever you're going to save seed from, make sure it's your strongest plant. For example, if you save seed from a plant that, for example, bolts early, there might be a trait in that plant where it runs the seed very quickly, which isn't what you want necessarily. Um, Whereas if you, for example, save a seed from a plant that's very large, or maybe grows very large leaves, for example, you're more likely to get that trait in the sort of seeds that you save and things. So that's the main thing. You want to pick variety, your sort of species, your plant that is the strongest. Now, with lettuce saving, it runs to flower like this. You get the little yellow flowers, and I'll try and put a picture of that on. And then you get these little white fluffy things. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to cut the lettuce off and put it upside down in the bucket. The reason we're going to do that is because some seeds are ready and are going to fall out when I do this, but not all of them. And certainly, oh, is my knife man enough for this? Ugh. Yep, just about. And then once you've got it like this, you just tip it up in the bucket, and we're then going to go take it somewhere to dry. And I'll show you my setup for that in a second. So this is my improvised setup for drying out this lettuce. Drying is somewhat optional. For example, if I'd left it maybe in the ground drying, we maybe had a really hot summer, the plant would naturally dry out quite well, and I'd probably be able to extract the seed from this. But if, for example, you've got a bout of sort of bad weather coming in, or if you've just not got the summer for it, you can opt to dry it indoors for just a couple of days. It doesn't take very long at all, really, for this plant to dry out once its root is cut and things. So all I've really done is I've hung it upside down in sort of a cool, dry place. I say dry, the shed's questionable, but it's dry enough to dry the seeds anyway. I got a bucket under here just in case, to catch anything that falls off and things. But typically, the seeds probably need a bit more time to dry before they'll fall off. And in a couple of days, I'll bring you back here and I'll show you the next stage for how we actually get the seeds off the plant with hopefully no fuss. Now, just a quick one. You can't save seed from F1 varieties. And also, you probably already know this, but an F1 variety is something that's been specially bred to produce a one-off perfect crop. So maybe it's been a large leaf and a really red leaf sort of thing have been bred together to make a large red leaf kind of thing. It's been bred like that. And if you were to save seed from the F1, you would then get a mix of whatever those parent plants were, and it might not be desirable. It might be desirable. You might get a super big, red giant leaf, but you also might not. You might get a very small green leaf, for example. So you don't really necessarily know what you're going to get if you were to save seed from F1s. Not to say you can't do it, but you're taking a gamble. So when you're saving seed, you're looking for something that is known as open pollinated. So it's something that can be sort of pollinated from different plants, and it still sort of kind of grows true. With lettuce, there aren't that many F1 varieties commonly sold. So the Lola Rosa variety that I'm growing is open pollinated, so the seed should grow true. Right, so we're back here a few days later, and plants dried out quite nicely. And we're going to have a look now at getting the seeds off the plant and into some form of storage. So this bit's pretty simple because it's dried out and things. You've got all these white fluffy things, and if I gently pull on these white fluffy things, I'll get out the seeds. And I could do that for all of it, but it's a bit of a pain in the ass, and it'll take ages. So what I'm going to use is these two wooden blocks, push it together, and gently rub. Okay, just like this. And what this is sort of doing is breaking up all the dry seeds, and there are thousands of seeds here. So, and I'm starting to get them already. So, with a lettuce plant, you have like one lettuce plant is probably going to make you a few thousand seed potentially. It's really you're going to have more seed than you could ever need. So you can give it away, share it with other gardeners, other friends, etc. Or obviously keep them yourself. Now, while I'm doing this, I talk about the big benefit of seed saving. So not only is it really good for like sustainability and like being self-sufficient, etc. and things, but also potentially if you do this every year with the same seeds and the same plants, and I plant these next year, I then save seed the following year and save seed the following year and keep using those saved seeds, there is talks about like obviously what will happen is it will start taking on sort of slight sort of modifications, adaptability in the plant. So maybe grows better in your soil or it grows better in your sort of conditions, etc. and things. And yeah, there you go. So I could carry on for ages. There's still loads of seed to extract. But again, like I said, I'm talking thousands of seed, more seeds than I could ever want. So I'll just quickly show you what's inside the bucket and you can see just how many seeds there are. Now, as you probably saw, there was quite a lot of like sort of chaff in amongst the seeds. So it wasn't just seeds there. There was lots of fluffy bits as well and things like that. Stuff that isn't going to grow a plant. So there is a method called winnowing, which you can use to get rid of them. Now, winnowing is you basically have two buckets, one with your seed and your chaff in, and one with nothing in. And what you do, and I'll try and demonstrate it, hopefully the wind gives us some help, is you gently, from a bit of a height, sort of transfer it in. Now, what's going to happen is not only the seeds are heavier, so the seeds are going to fall in, but some of that white stuff is going to potentially fly away, basically. And it's difficult to see on the camera, but there is lots of it that flew away then, that just sort of disappeared. And what's left in here isn't seed, it's just some chaff. So there you go. That's one method you can use to sort of purify the seed collection, but don't be worried if there is a bit of chaff. It doesn't make much difference when you're planting it, as long as you get one seed in one plug tray, for example. So yeah, there you go. So that is saving lettuce seed. I really hope you like watching this video, and I'm going to be doing lots more seed saving videos, and they really range in complexity. So I've sort of done peas, which is definitely the easiest one you can do, and same for beans and things like that. Lettuce, there's a little bit of complexity with the sort of drying out and how you sort of extract the seeds and things, but it's not hard again. And then there are things like onions, carrots, parsnips, where it is quite complicated. There's lots of pollination that needs to happen as well and things, and there's certain cross pollination that you can't have. Same with squashes as well and things like that. But that is the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you do, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you all soon for more gardening videos.